All right, it is 6 p.m. It's a Tuesday, so we are going to prep for some Dungeons and Dragons, but we're going to work on our Gothic Horror game some more. Last week, we revisited Pathfinder 2nd Edition and looked at Ancestries, species, ancestral feats, and started to look into possibly fleshing out our own. And then somebody in chat was like, hey man, you know, there's already like 4 books that did all the work already, and I'm not in the habit of doing like work if it's already been done. So we're gonna today we're gonna take a look at what we got here in, I believe it's Grazilaxx's, a relatively common name for illithids, guide to ancestry. So I believe this is Grazilaxx right here. Who I think is maybe an alternate persona of one Ryan Langer. So we're gonna dive into this, see what this is all about. Persona. Oh my god, I could hear myself for a second. Okay, so really happy. One of my players, Ori, who plays Sibo in the Sunday game, he actually picked up all 4 of these for us to take a look at this week, and so we're gonna dive in and take a look at them. Alright, so like I said, it's written by this Ryan Langer guy. I believe we're looking at only 35 pages, which I'm happy about that, because Lord knows we got enough to read already. So let's see. I got a little table of contents. It is interactive. I always like that. Nice bookmarked PDF. It's actually got bookmarks. Good shit, good shit. Alright, so let's zoom in and start reading. I guess we can move this over a bit, make a little more room, close this out a little bit. Alright. Greetings. If you're reading this guide, you must be interested in the ancestry of the many peoples of our world. I am Grazilaxx, renowned bioarchaeologist and lover of all creatures. Okay. In this collection of notes, you'll find my reflections on the various sentient creatures of the world. Blah, 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 blah. Flavor. Alright. Race in D&D. In the past, the way in which race was used in D&D was mostly swept under the rug. As the game becomes increasingly open to minority and marginalized groups, however, these problems will hopefully be increasingly recognized. The fact that Drow are evil and dark skin is problematic and offensive. We know that it is because persons of color tell us it is. The fact that certain playable races, Drow, Tiefling, Goblins, Orcs, are typically evil alignments is lazy at best. At worst, it promotes the idea that entire races are evil. The fact that ability score increases are tied to race is similarly problematic. Though all races are more or less balanced, the assertion that certain races are smarter, faster, or stronger than others leads to increasing bias. It ignores the fact that we are more alike than we are different. With Grazilaxx's Guide to Ancestry, we hope to provide a way you can play the game you love without these concerns. So, this was a hot topic a while ago, and I guess it's kind of a hot topic still. Wizards of the Coast tried to address it with Tasha's, and I mean, they kind of dialed it in. They basically just gave you a variant human that you could give dark vision to, and therefore justify it being any race that you could possibly imagine, and not have to worry about it. I used the Tasha's rules to make my character for Wednesday, Rhyme of the Frostmaiden Hellebore, into a half-orc who was more focused on like her half-elven human heritage, I guess, or I think she's like the byproduct of 2 half-orcs. I don't know. Her lineage was a little bit weird, but I wanted to focus less on the traditional half-orc stuff, and I just wanted to sort of have this half-orc who didn't know who she was and what she wanted to do. And I was able to swap out some of the skill proficiencies, like she didn't want intimidation, so she took something else. So Tasha's kind of introduces that idea that, oh, you can mix and match and swap whenever you want. And for some people, that's going to be good for building a character that meets the vision they have of the character. And for other people, it's going to be amazing for min-maxing, obviously. So, yeah, it's an alright solution. But I am curious to see what we got going on here, and if it in any way is similar to what's going on with Pathfinder version 2 and all of the heritage feats and whatnot. Alright. From race to ancestry, language is power. It carries with it both seen and unseen influences, just as a bard. Race arguably doesn't even exist. Rather, it's a word invented to place division rather than unity. Alright, I'm going to stop you right here. There are literally different species of humanoids in Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, a Mind Flayer and a Goblin are not the same creature. I mean, in fact, a Mind Flayer is a mutation of a base creature because of a far realm parasite that is placed in the base of the skull. So what I'm trying to say is, like, they are literally different species. Like, gnomes originally were like hatched from gemstones, by their god, and dwarves were carved from stone. I mean, there's like lore in place that says that they're different species, but I get it. I mean, we're trying to draw like real world parallels between like the human species and then all the species of D&D. Okay, but let's keep going. All right. What we need to appreciate is from which we come. What we need is acknowledge our common roots and unique fruits. What we need is ancestry. Okay. Ancestry is one replacement for the term race and signifies a group of people descended from a common ancestor. Goblinoids, avians, draconics, and even elves and dwarves are all examples of groups that share ancestry. Narratively, they have descended from an ancient being. Okay. Alright. We'll pursue this. Regions refer to primary cultural differences that arise when where a group developed. It can also refer to a particular affinity for tools, vehicles, etc. Because of where one grew up. Ancestries whose differences are primarily based on geographical differences, humans, elves, dwarves, halflings, are split functionally by regions. Alright, well, this is something I did notice in Solasta. Yeah, Cadenex, I agree that it's a huge overcorrection. Oh, I don't know. Well, we're gonna read the book, and we're gonna leave the politics out of it, I guess, and we're just gonna read the book and see what useful mechanics are there. But I do feel like front loading it with this extreme wokeness. I get why they did it, and I respect where they're coming from, but I feel like they are immediately telling some players that might be interested in this book that this book isn't for you. I don't know, but I want to find out what it's about. And then they've got branches refer to different people who are members of the same ancestry. So that would be sub-races, I guess. Okay. Now, I did notice this in Solasta, which was fun for maybe a couple hours, and then I realized it was just Dungeons & Dragons, and I play Dungeons & Dragons every week, and I wasn't going to or like 5 times a week. I wasn't going to like spend my video game time playing more Dungeons & Dragons. But they didn't have the traditional sub-races. They had like snow dwarves because they came from a snowy place. And they had island halflings because they were halflings that lived on islands. So they kind of embraced that regional thing rather than the sub-races or branches of ancestry. Alright, behind the mechanics, this system was built to make races more varied and modular. That's what we're here for, is that modular. It has a large amount of customization at the expense of a redistribution of power. Removing ability score increases. Ability score increases from race have been removed completely, both for reasons of balance and because intrinsic ability score increases pose a problematic narrative. God forbid all orcs be strong. I got you. Alright. Inheritances. The core of the system revolves around a feature called inheritances. They're similar to 5th edition's racial features and are separated into 2 categories: major inheritance, minor inheritance. And then you get inheritance points that you can spend. Well, this sounds like what we're looking for. Major inheritances are common, widely applicable traits in Ancestry as regardless of region or people. They are traits that were formerly part of the race as a whole, rather than sub-races. Minor inheritances are essentially from branches, aka sub-races. Either way, you buy them with points. Alright, sounds good. Creating your own race. You could easily make your own race or modify an existing race using the system by following these steps. Convert 2 most powerful racial traits into major inheritances, costing 2 points each. Convert the rest of the racial traits into minor inheritances, costing 1 point each. Provide at least 2 skills and 1 tool or instrument that the character could be proficient in, 1 point each. Okay. Okay. I feel like we're losing culture here, is a tricky thing. But culture isn't necessarily tied to race, aka America, right? The melting pot of the world, but also America has many subcultures in it, a lot of which are very racist. Ugh, this is some muddy water we're swimming through here. Creating shared ancestry. Under the system, a creature who identifies as 2 different races is said to have shared ancestry. Okay, well, this is what Cadenex has been asking for forever when he said he wants to be a werewolf robot or whatever. While these mechanics allow for more variation than half-elf or half-orc, it is up to the DM to decide which races could procreate this way. Excuse me, game system. Nobody restricts who's breeding with who in my games. See also Skull and Shackles. Building shared ancestry. When you build a character of shared ancestry, you pick 1 major inheritance from the first race and 1 major inheritance from the second. You may then pick any combination of 2 minor inheritances for those races. What book is this? We are looking at Grazilaxx's Ancestry. This is the core book. There are 4 books in the series. Hey, what's up? I, yet again, neglected to actually have the link ready to share with chat or set up a Nightbot to share it automatically. Hold on. Because I'm a scrub. There we go. So this is the core book that we're looking at. I don't know why it came in with all that extra doodads there. I guess because Google wants to make sure that you know that I used it to search. Thank you, Google. There we go. There's a cleaner one for you. Okay. Using Ancestry in your campaigns, the modular design, this is what we want. We want to use this in our campaign. The modular design, setting, and removal of ability score increases may change up how you use Ancestries in your campaign. While much of the narrative and descriptive elements in this guide are based on Forgotten Realms lore, these racial ancestries are easy to adapt into an agnostic setting. Because lore alignments and interactions between different ancestries are all fluff and not intrinsic to their identities as a species, feel free to ignore any non-mechanical aspect of this product and adapt to your own setting. Some of the mechanics, like having an elf without trance, could actually facilitate this adaptation. Ancestral lore. Work with your DM to decide why your character is unique among their ancestry. Maybe you're an Aarakocra who can't fly because you grew up with humans and weren't taught to fly. Maybe you're a drow without dark vision because you come from a long line of surface dwellers. Now, I will touch on this. I do allow races that have sunlight sensitivity to give up their dark vision in exchange for not having sunlight sensitivity. To reflect that their characters grew up on the surface or spent so much time on the surface that they essentially adapted to sunlight and a diurnal schedule or whatever. Alright, maybe you're an elf who doesn't trance. Whether your mechanical choices inform your roleplay or vice versa, this system works best when they're given equal importance. Alignments. Well, I don't even go down for alignment, but let's read this. Not only are alignments problematic from a narrative standpoint, when used improperly, they can be lazy, boring, restrictive. They have fallen out of general favor for good reason. Alignment has no mechanical impact on the supplement. Hell yeah. Okay. Redistributing your ability scores. While having lower overall ability scores may be appealing to some tables and settings, for those who wish to keep them, ability score increases can now come as modified distribution, class-based, changing backgrounds, and optional feats. Ooh! Now, Pathfinder 2 and Starfinder go in for this shit with the class-based ASI, and I'm digging that. Also, Lex, yes, 100%. I think a bird person could probably teach themselves how to fly. I mean, Christ, people teach themselves how to walk. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, anyways, I like the idea. That your class essentially gives you a boost to your stats. I think that's pretty dope. And the options here are pretty good. Honestly, though, the best thing to do would just say the most recent book, the Feywild one, You say you get a +2 to one stat, you get a +1 to another stat, or you get a +1 to 3 stats, and then you call it a day. And that's right here. So finally, you can give your players +3 ability score increases to distribute in a +2/+1 or a 1/1/1 way. And that's honestly the direction you should go. Changing backgrounds. I don't want to tie ASI to background. That's dumb. That's dumb. All right, feats. Dungeon Masters are encouraged to use the optional feat rules. If feats are available to your campaign, you may allow a character to take a reasonable feat option in place of one major inheritance. Alternatively, you can allow free racial starting feat to augment the lack of ability score increases in the system. But we just gave the ability scores back. Oh, you're saying instead of getting these, instead of having +3, you could start the game with a feat. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good idea. Alright. Starting ability scores. Not tied to race. Get 3 extra points. +2/+1 or +1/+1/+1. Or take a starting feat. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Because if you're playing a class that doesn't really need, like, stats, I mean, there really are classes like that. Like, Wizard only needs intelligence, honestly. I guess Constitution. Yeah, you could probably get away with that. That's pretty cool. I don't think a monk's going to do that. Poor monks. All right. There are plenty of great resources you can use to augment or slightly change this system. Mordenkainen's Musings, Nature and Nurturing in the Universe, has great suggestions for adapting all races to a non-ASI formula. Unearthed Archetypes, Heroes for the Ages, has excellent selections for suggestions for racial human variants. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Brian Holmes, Backgrounds of Faerun series, has excellent lore information and backgrounds on nearly every quote-unquote race. They're easily adaptable to the system and give additional options for inheritances the DM could adapt. Okay. Alright, let's jump into this shit. Core and expanded ancestries. Up first, we got Amphibian. So we're starting things out with furries, and we're just gonna go from there. All right. Grung's poisonous skin makes them dangerous pets and unappetizing snacks. I don't think any sentient race should be a pet, but sure. They are an interesting study. Oh, because you're a mind flayer. Ah, we're using the mind flayer's point of view. Okay. They're an interesting study in evolutionary adaptation. They look cute, but don't let them disarm you. They are fierce, intelligent, and industrious creatures. True dwelling, aggressive, and territorial. Grungs live a rigid caste system according to their color. Are you different? Maybe you wish to open your borders to outsiders or shirking the caste system. Maybe you are a staunch traditionalist sent by your tribe on an important mission that will change your view of the world and subsequently your people. Okay. As a Grung, you may choose 2 major inheritances and 2 minor inheritances and 1 major inheritance, or 1 major and 4 minor. Wowee. Okay, what do we got? Poison immunity. Okay. Poison skin. And you're done. Those are your 2 majors. Okay, so really they did exactly what we were trying to do last week, but somebody actually already did it and set up a system for it. It's fantastic. Fantastic. If a Grung takes the amphibious inheritance, they must also take water dependency, but doing so only counts as a single minor inheritance. Okay. Water dependency. If you fail to immerse yourself in water for at least 1, you can only recover. Yeah, well, why would you ever count this as 2? That seems terrible. Like, why would you take it at all? I guess if you want to be amphibious, you do. Are there Grung out there that aren't amphibious? Aren't by your nature you're an amphibian? Like, can that even be optional? Seems weird. Like, how am I going to explain to people that I'm a Grung and I can't breathe underwater? I mean, it's 5e. Technically, everyone can breathe underwater, if we're being honest. I mean, breathing underwater is really not that big of a deal. Okay. Standing Leap is dope. Definitely worth taking as a minor inheritance. Agile Lurker, you're proficient in your choice of either the acrobatics skill or stealth skill. You're proficient in perception. Forest Craft, you're proficient in your choice of woodcarver's tools or carpenter's tools. I just love the idea of a grung who's just like, just this big muscle toad. He's just this big fucking muscle toad. Oh, wait, I know. Desert, right? You're a desert frog. Like a desert toad. Hell yeah. Hold on. I think I have a picture of this. Desert. I used these little turds in, there they are. These were the ones I used for Imarith in Storm King's Thunder. See? Look at this cutie. Look at this little cutie. It's a little horn toad, right? That shoots blood out of its eyes or whatever. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. You never learned to swim because you know there's no fucking water around. Okay, I'm down. I get it. I'll expand my imagination so that this can work. All right, it's good to see General Snood in the chat. The local legend on our Discord server at reskinning races into other races. So I am excited to see what your take is on all this. All right, so let's go to Avian. Those who know Canku realize they are capable and remarkably adaptable. Their brain matter is actually quite substantial. Hey, he's a mind flayer, eats your brains. I get it. Interesting creatures, I've interacted with quite a few. Personally, I've never been a fan of Aarakocra. Sure, they're great, majestic creatures, but the feathers always got caught in my tentacles. Okay, I think this guy eats all of his test subjects, is what it sounds like. Alright, so now we have branches for the first time. And honestly, they could have had fucking bullywugs up in here, but they do add bullywugs in a future book. And I don't know if bullywugs are listed as part of Amphibian or what, but we'll cross that bridge later. I do like that they stuck the two birds together, so that's cool. I'm sure with Draconic, they got Kobold and Dragonborn in the same thing. Yeah, eating is a part of the test. Exactly. Let's see. The Aarakocra descends from the same creator race as the Canku, the Aari. While not common on the material plane, and typically not popular as player options, I beg to fucking differ. Their inherited ability to fly makes them capable and valuable allies. Pfft, man, there's support groups for DMs who are like, everyone tried to be an Aarakocra and ruined my game. Alright. They still only live 30 years, that's good. They get a buttload of starting languages. You may choose 2 major inheritances and 2 minor, or 1 major and 4 minor. Major, you may fly. Well, that's... Boop. Well, okay, we're done. There you go, that's what we're here for. Talons. Your talons are natural weapons which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with them, you deal slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier. Who would ever take talons if they didn't have to? I mean, it's so fucking garbage. Almost all the racial natural attacks. Let's just put it out there. They're all fucking garbage. If there was racial feats that actually increased how strong your natural attacks were, like natural attacks would be pretty good. But they don't scale, and they're not good. And you can't. There's like no magical items to make them good by default. So like the DM would have to like add shit in, which is fine. Alright. And yes, Penguin Branch, for sure. I think here's how you make a Penguin Branch. You make an you make a Canku. It's half Canku, half water Genasi. Now you got a penguin. Do you see how it works? It's Pokemans. It's Pokemon genetics up in here. Alright. Let's see. Head in the clouds, you have advantage in all intelligence nature checks to recall knowledge on any creature with a flying speed, and wisdom checks to track them. That's kind of dope. Agile maneuvers, you have proficiency in acrobatics, keen awareness, perception skill, dexterous fingers. You're proficient with your choice of tinker's tools or calligrapher's supplies. What the fuck? Okay. That would have been really handy for the Aarakocra gunslinger that I had in Saltmarsh Sun. And then we got the Canku Branch. Canku were typically thought to be evil-leaning. Yeah, like a million years ago. They can be valuable allies. They're rarely given a chance to do so. While Canku develop on a different plane, I guess the new lore is the Shadowfell, or it's hard to remember. They are greedy, maybe. Blah blah blah. Okay, so they get less languages than the Aarakocra. As a Canku, you must take mimicry. You must take mimicry. You may further choose one major inheritance and two minor inheritances. So you cannot speak in your own voice or language. You can mimic sounds you have heard, including voices. A creature that hears the sounds you make can tell that they are imitations with successful wisdom insight opposed by your deception. So basically like the actor's feat, but with a bunch of limitations thrown on it. You can duplicate other creatures' handwriting and craftwork. You have advantage on all checks made to produce forgeries and duplicates of existing objects. Minor inheritances, keen hearing, mimicry, memorization. That's kind of cool. Your bonus is doubled for any intelligence check made to recall any information you have heard, even if you're not proficient in that skill. Dexterous maneuvers. You're proficient in your choice of sleight of hand or stealth. Secret keeper. You're proficient in deception. That goes pretty well with that. And dexterous fingers, tinker's tools, and calligrapher's supplies. Okay, so here's a great example. In Acquisitions Incorporated, Cadenex played a Canku. But honestly, was it really a Canku? Probably not. It was just a fucking bird person. But the bird person did have mimicry ability. But they also had their own voice, and they really weren't like restricted by, the shit that normally comes from it. Now, creating our own cinematic universe in Storm King's Thunder, we kind of hint that that character, Orwell, is the sibling of an Aarakocra. So how's a Canku the sibling of an Aarakocra? Well, thanks to the avian heritage, it's possible now. You see where I'm going with this? And as stated earlier, you could convince your DM to let you take a feat instead of a major inheritance. So perhaps, instead of mimicry and expert forgery, Orwell had the actor feat, right? So the actor feat does everything that mimicry does, but you still have access to your own voice. And then he picked other abilities accordingly. Maybe he was half Aarakocra, half Canku, or maybe he's just building a goddamn bird person and he wants to choose what he wants. So he could have done the actor's feat, and then for minor inheritances, he could have purchased from both if he wanted to kind of flesh out his bird person the rest of the way. So that's like a really good example, I think, of how this could work in a campaign they've already been in. So that's kind of cool. All right, what do we got here? Draconic. We won't talk about eating dragon brains. Let's just keep moving. There's the Dragonborn branch. I still can't get over the fact that Dragonborn only live 80 years. It's hilarious to me. You may choose two major inheritances and two minor inheritances. Blah, blah, blah. If you choose both breath and resistance, they must be the same type. Boo. 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 That's terrible. You could use your Ancestry to breathe a breath weapon. Let's see. Is he still going to charge you an action for this? It just says you can use your breath weapon. It doesn't even list. When you use your breath weapon. Oh, it does. Use an action. We do a bonus action in my games, so whatever. Oh my god, just giving out expertise. Holy shit. Choose one of your skill proficiencies. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for. Wow. Dragonborn just get expertise, huh? Okay. Minor inheritances. Appraiser. You likely know the type and worth of gems you find. You have advantage on insight checks when determining. Okay, nobody's going to take that. Cool. You have resistance to the damage type associated. You put resistance down as a minor inheritance? What? Okay. Athlete, you're proficient in athletic skill. Imposing figure, you're proficient in intimidation. Artisan, you're proficient with one type of artisan tool. I would like to see like more crossover between these skills. Like I feel like they're still pretty limited, you know what I mean? Like, why can't you have why can't you be like a Jeremy Crawford medium, like aka powerful build Dragonborn? Where's my powerful build Dragonborn? Where the fuck is that at? Where's powerful build for Dragonborns? Of all the races that need powerful build as an option, that feels like one that needs a power. Where is it? Okay, this is fine though. This is good. This is good groundwork for what we're trying to do. Kobold Branch, blah blah blah. Kobolds. People who love kobolds had their feelings hurt because kobolds are wimps. Blah blah blah. All right. So this guy makes a big deal about how everybody's special and beautiful snowflake, and then he says all kobolds have dark vision and sunlight sensitivity. Okay, but you said that I could make any character I wanted. Why are you telling me that all kobolds have to have dark vision and sunlight sensitivity? That doesn't seem right. You may further choose 2 major inheritances and 2 minor inheritances. Feels like this guy's just making up his own mind about shit. I mean, he wrote it and it's homebrew, but don't give me a speech about how everybody could be everything they want to be and anything they want to be, and then tell me that I have to take certain things. That's bullshit. I'm a little upset. A little upset about that. Yeah. Now I get it. Pack Tactics is fucking amazing. It's amazing. And you're trying to balance out Pack Tactics by making sure that they have sunlight sensitivity. And I get that. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, you have to take these shitty things that define how shitty you are, but everyone's beautiful and special, and no one should ever feel bad about like the race that they pick. It feels like a double standard there. It feels like a huge double standard. I understand that the fear here is unmitigated pack tactics. And if Paradise Vale is any indication, if you don't lock down pack tactics, everyone will eventually just make a kobold, because having advantage all the time is really nice. I don't know what else to say. If you feel that pack tactics is that strong, just say pack tactics costs 2 major inheritances. The end. Like, done. Okay. That's all you have to do. Now, they also get Grovel, Cower, and Beg, which I've seen many players reskin as different things so that they don't have to embarrass themselves by acting like crybabies. This is an insanely powerful ability, in my opinion, and it comes back on a short rest. Kobolds are just really good. Like, I don't understand how people can complain about kobolds, because they're really, really good. Then you got these minor ones. Faithful, that's pretty cute. Keen Awareness, Technologist, because of traps and shit. That's pretty cool. Agile Maneuvers, alright. And Tunnel Dweller, you have advantage on Wisdom saving throw checks to find your way underground or natural corridors. Okay, I'm into all that shit. I'm surprised that these are the only 2 that showed up. I guess if you wanted to make a half-dragon, like before there were Dragonborn, everybody wanted to be a half-dragon. Kaliana, I think is her name, from Critical Role. Mark Humes played Kaliana as a guest character a couple of times. She was a half-dragon. If you want to make a half-dragon, I guess you would choose, like, Elf as one of your ancestries, and then you would choose Dragonborn or Kobold as the other, and then you would kind of mix and match your stuff, which I think is a really cool way of handling this. I like this. I do like this, but I feel like it's still being kind of restrictive for what we're trying to do here. All right, dwarves. What can be said of dwarves? Tough buggers inside and out. Blah blah blah. Dwarves are slow. They live a long time. They're medium, even though everybody always thinks they're small. All right, you may choose 2 major and 2 minor, or 1 major and 4 minor. Minor inheritances must come from the same region. Feels like you're forcing me to make a character a certain way, bro. Just saying. Alright. Why can't I be a hill dwarf who was raised in a mountain region? Just saying. Feel like you're restricting us here. Alright, Dark Vision is good. Dwarven Resilience is great. Dwarven Toughness is aight. Depends on the campaign you're in, I guess. Tamer, Artisan, Intuitive, Dwarven Stone Cunning. I feel like we could just go through this book and just take every minor inheritance and put that on a table, and every major inheritance and put that on a table, and just be like, go fucking crazy. But maybe that's nuts. I don't know. Dwarven Endurance, Dwarven Stone Cunning. Only Mountain Dwarves get Stone Cunning. Athlete, Keen Awareness, Mineralist. You're proficient with Jeweler's Tools. Definitely something that I would take. No. Let's see. Underdark Region. The Grey Dwarves, or Dwegar, live deep in the Underdark. Okay, how are you going to explain their badass magical abilities as only a minor inheritance? That's a little weird. Improved Dark Vision requires Dark Vision Major Inheritance. Sunlight Sensitivity. Why would you take Sunlight Sensitivity? Oh, I bet you... How are they gonna... Why would anybody take Sunlight Sensitivity? Is there something that forces you to take it? If you choose Improved Dark Vision and Sunlight Sensitivity, you may choose an additional minor inheritance. You may take the extra language inheritance for free. Okay. That is a whole lot of nonsense to keep Sunlight Sensitivity. Just get rid of Sunlight Sensitivity. Like, who fucking cares? Oh, I do like that, Dom. Pack Tactics only works if other people have Pack Tactics. Let's write that shit down. Pack Tactics only triggers if the ally adjacent also has Pack Tactics. Beautiful. Dom is like got such a good head for he's got such a good head for design, like for game design. It's amazing. Dwarven Endurance on a let's see. You cannot become exhausted by class features that cause the exhausted condition. Yeah, you could finally have a frenzied barbarian. Look at that. Finally, a frenzied barbarian. That'd be amazing. Alright. This is... You want to talk about problematic. There's a lot of problematic shit here. First of all, Dwegar magic should not be a minor feature. This is like innate magic. And as we've seen with Tasha's, all of the Tasha's feats that give you magic, like spellcasting, like, that's a whole feat. And this has described feats as being on par with a major race ability. So, Dwegar magic should just be called Dwarven magic, or Deep Dwarven magic, and then it should be available to fuck at everybody. Like, this is so... Okay. Elven. Elves, blah, blah, blah. They live forever. They're beautiful. Everybody loves them. Blah, blah, blah. Elf. Okay. And look, there's no forced requirements for elves. Weird. Elves don't have to take anything shitty. That's weird. You can see in dim light within 60 feet. Dark vision. Fey ancestry is a major. Trance is a major. Elves don't need to sleep. Instead, they meditate deeply. Blah blah blah. I feel like trance is definitive of the elven race nowadays. Like, I feel like if anything had to be forced, you would force trance, but I guess not. Oh, check this out. You could be a cosmopolitan elf. Okay, keep it together. Keep it together. All right. Cosmopolitan is a term for an elf that doesn't hail from any particular region. City, plains, mountains. They can be found almost anywhere, and thus have some of the most diverse cultural affinities. High elves are included in this culture. So you get one cantrip. That ain't bad. Tied to your intelligence. That ain't great. Extra language. Nah, nobody gives a shit about that. Keen senses. Magical knowledge. And Potion Master, which gives you 2... Oh, Alchemist supplies or Herbalist kit. Okay, so it's not that great. Feywild region, also known as Aladrin Elves from the Feywild, are typically associated with one of the 4 seasons. If you choose Season's Blessing, you must have a Fey step. You can only have one, but may change your Season's Blessing if you and your DM agree on a significant role-playing reason to do so. Well, that's pretty cool. Instead of just, hey, I decide to be this. But I kind of feel like that's sort of the appeal of 4th or 5th Age Aladrin, is that you can shift your mood like every day, however you want. I don't know why your DM has to be involved in that process, according to this guy. It does say minor inheritances have to come from the same region, though. Alright, so we got expertise. Holy shit. You've got Fey Step. You've got Season's Blessing, which is essentially adding some magic flavor to your Fey Step. Man. Okay. Then you got Underwater region. We've got Child of the Sea. You have a swimming speed, and you can breathe air and water. Why do the grung have to have water splashed on them, and these fucking elves don't have to? That doesn't seem fair. Like, why are you keeping the negative aspects of the grung? When you got your elf kids over here, elf kids don't have any restrictions. I mean, you want to talk about problematic. I'm going to be contacting my grung associates, and we're going to be leveling a fucking lawsuit here against this Grazilaxx guy, because this is fucking racist right here. I want to see these, I want to see Annalora every day have to pour a bucket of fucking water over her head, because she's a sea elf. This doesn't make any sense. Like, if the point of the document was to get rid of the negative stuff related to these races, why didn't you get rid of the negative stuff related to the races? I'm sorry I'm getting stuck on this, but I'm like really confused. Alright. And apparently, since you're a sea elf that lives underwater, you also know how boats work. Okay. Shadowfell. Let's see. Shadarkai, blah blah blah. Blessing of the Raven Queen. Edgelord Teleport. Improved Blessing. Requires Blessing of the Raven Queen. Necrotic Resistance. Again, a damage resistance as a minor is so strong. In D&D, having resistance to any single energy source causes a magical item to require attunement. It requires attunement. And you're just giving this out as a minor? That's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Yeah, like, I understand that the effort was made here, I guess, but like, if you're gonna get rid of the negative stuff, get rid of the negative stuff, man. Just have the guts to go all in on that shit. Let's see. Keen senses. And also, why are the Shadarkai good at sneaky stuff? Like, why? Okay. Dexterous maneuvers, stealth, sleight of hand, assassin. Like, are you saying that all of the Shadarkai are assassins? Are you saying that all the Shadarkai are edgelords? I thought we were trying to get away from these problematic stereotypes. What's going on here, bro? I don't get it. Like, most people consider poisoning people to be an evil act. Like, you're trying to tell me that they're not evil, but yet their most common abilities are evil. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like, he just makes... Right, like, I would never, with this system, I would never choose a grung. I would never choose a grung the way he has this set up. Like, I don't know. I like what's done here. I just don't like how it's done, I guess. Alright, so Drow Magic is coming in as a minor, which doesn't make any sense. And improved dark vision and sunlight sensitivity are linked, which is bullshit. And apparently Drow are sneaky and like to poison people. So, but they're not evil, guys. They're just sneaky and like to poison people. Okay. Then we got Forest region, which alphabetically, Forest definitely comes after Underdark. I'm sure it was arranged like this for editing purposes, but whatever. Now I'm just nitpicking. As a wood elf, blah blah blah. Wood elves, wild elves, green elves, forest elves. Also, if you're a racist, copper elves. Expertise. Choose one of your skill or tool proficiencies. So these guys are expertise, which I can't believe they just hand out expertise as a fucking minor inheritance. Fleet of foot, your movement speed is increased to 35. Mask of the Wild, you can attempt to hide even when you are only slightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, blah blah blah. Keen senses, sneak, and forest craft. Ugh. Oh my god. Now, I get it. I can make an elf that's like 2 of these and like mix and match or whatever. So I could be a Shadowfell Underdark and be the most ultimate edgelord elf. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm very unimpressed. Let's look at the extra planar track. Alright. We got the 9 Hells, aka Tieflings. But Tieflings aren't just from the 9 Hells, so I think we're already off to a terrible start. But let's see how it goes. Tieflings are derived from human bloodlines, and in the broadest possible sense, they still look human, infernal heritage, blah 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 blah. Cool. You may choose 2 major and 2 minor, or 1 major and 4 minor. Okay. Well, you better have fucking wings as a major inheritance to cover the flying tieflings. Dark vision is a major. Infernal legacy. Okay, so here's another double standard. We just gave dwarves and elves spellcasting as minors, but we're forcing tieflings to have spellcasting as majors. What? What? Why is that? Why is that a thing? Like, that's not fair. Alright. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Then we've got Hellish Resistance. Again, we're putting Elemental Resistance as a minor inheritance. So I could min-max the most ridiculous, like, ancestral build and come out with, like, yeah, birds have talons as majors. What the absolute fuck is going on here? Like, this is not balanced at all. Like, no effort was made at all to balance these against each other. They're just, like, arbitrary. Alright. Infernal Skepticism. You can choose to use your Intelligence modifier rather than your Wisdom when using the Insight skill. Okay, that's kind of cool. But we allow, like, skill swaps anyways in our games, so I guess that doesn't really matter. But I guess this would be, you don't have to bullshit doing it, so that's kind of cool. Alright, Enlightened Study, you can get Arcana, which is a good skill, or History, which in most games is a shitty skill, unless you got a cool DM. Secret Keeper, Deception, and then 1 art. So this doesn't even cover the 10 different variants of Tiefling. Alright, then we go over to Asamar, which I'm going to guarantee that for Asamar, this guy covers every single aspect of every type of Asamar. And I'm pretty sure that this guy plays an Asamar when he plays D&D. So let's find out. Healing Hands. Okay, so Healing Hands, which only provides 1 spellcasting action, is considered a major, but Deep Magic and Drow Magic is considered a minor. Got it. Dark Vision consistently considered a major. And then we've got Asamar have different choices here. Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. Just ignore the 10 different sub-races of Tiefling. That's cool. Alright, let's see. Lightbearer, you know, light cantrip. Resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. Double resistance, baby. So if I made... if I made a dual Ancestry character, and I was a half dragon, half Asamar, I could have 3 damage resistances starting the fucking game. I could have 3 damage resistances starting the game. At level 1, I could have 3 damage resistances starting the game. It's incredible. Oh my god. I'm gonna... Alright. Have you improved in any way our poor Genasi, who were hot garbage, and I guarantee you are going to be one of the first things that's fixed in that new Mordenkainen book that's coming out next year. Alright, as an heir genocide, you were descended from the Jinn, blah blah blah. Like, wait, why have the genocide still, why have the genocide, why would you still have them segregated into 4 types when there's, like, a different type of genocide for every element, para-elemental, and, oh my god. Like, where's my smoke genasis, right? Where's my magma genasis? Like, what the fuck is all this shit? Oh my god. Just put everything in one box for elementals and let them just choose what they want. Okay. So, mingle with wind, you can cast levitate. 1-time levitate, and they're charging you a major inheritance. Holding your breath. And they're charging you a major inheritance, but you don't have to pour a bucket of water over your head like a grung does. Okay. Wow. You have resistance to lightning damage, so there's more resistance. You have resistance to damage from falling. That's kind of dope. You have proficiency in acrobatics. You are proficient with perception. You're proficient with air vehicles. Every level 1 character is excited to be able to fly a fucking airship when they first start the game. Cool. I guess, I mean, I don't know, depends on the campaign. Eberron, sure. Plane of Earth, Genasi. What do we got here? You can ignore difficult terrain only if it's made of earth and stone. So there's still hot garbage, is what you're telling me. You can cast Pass Without Trace 1 time. It feels like all they did is make, like you guys said in chat, they just made the bad races worse. Let's just skip down to Orc. Let's just rip the band-aid off. Here we go. Alright. Alright. Gnomes. I'm sure gnomes are still broken ass strong. Let's see. Oh, weird. Weird. Listen to this. Underdark gnomes can get superior dark vision, and they don't take sunlight sensitivity. That's weird. It's almost like they're a good aligned race, traditionally, so they don't have penalties discouraging you from playing them. Brother, that was the whole point of your document, was to make it so that evil races were more appealing to play, and you didn't do it. Alright, also, goblins are hot trash in 5e. Just throwing that shit out there for you. Every variety of them is hot trash. But none more than the actual goblin themselves. Fury of the Small, give me a break. I mean, Nimble Escape's pretty good. But, you know, whatever. Let's see. Halflings, aka the Master Race. I don't even want to see how much stronger they made them. Alright, we gotta just jump down to Orc. Because we're running out of time in the stream. My takeaway from this is that I love the intent, and I love the idea behind it, and I love the way it's organized. I just hate the execution of it so much. I feel like the execution is terrible. Also, this doesn't actually take me to specific areas, but let me go back here. Orcish. There we go. Orcs are perhaps the most understood or misunderstood of all the species. They're not as stupid nor as innately savage as the world would have you think. Thank you, Worlds of Warcraft. Alright. Let's keep going. Aggressive, as bonus action, your speed, and then Dark Vision. Well, why would you keep the name aggressive? Like, are they aggressive? You just told me that they weren't aggressive. I don't understand. Are they aggressive or are they not aggressive, bro? I do like that he gave them powerful build. That's an improvement. And you get rid of their terrible stat reductions, so that's good. You're proficient with the drum. Alright. Intimidation, religion, you keep your savage attacks. Savage attacks as a minor. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I play a half orc for what, 40 sessions now. I honestly have only critted a couple of times. So, you know, that's really just luck based at that point. Reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed outright. You don't. Alright, turtles, looks like they still only live 50 years. It's kind of sad. I don't understand these reptilian races only living like 60 and 50 years. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get a lot of things anymore about Dungeons and Dragons. Alright, and then we have another major inheritance being a bite. Like, literally just a bite. That's it. It's not even the bite that lets you get Hungry Jaws. You have to take another inheritance to get Hungry Jaws activated. This is just the bite. I just think it's... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this document. Alright, let's see what's going on with Yuan-Ti. Poison immunity as a minor inheritance. Okay, let me change my build. I'm actually a half Yuan-Ti, half Asamar, and you have to respect that because that's what my character identifies as. He identifies as a half Yuan-Ti, half Asamar. So I'm going to start the game with resistance to necrotic and radiant, also immunity to poison. Hope that's not a big deal. Hope that's not a big deal. At least they had the sense to put the innate spellcasting as a major on this one. Alright, then we go into the Ancestries of Eberron. The Kalistar, which are incredibly strong. Yeah, you can get Psychic Resistance here as a minor. So you could just be a half, whatever you want to be. A half dwarf. There you go. You can be a half mountain dwarf. Yeah. Magic Resistance is a minor too. Yeah, just unreal. Just unreal. Unreal. Oh my god, this is so stupid. I hate sounding so negative, but man, this is not good. This is not good. So if I wanted to build the ultimate barbarian, I would do like a mountain dwarf because of the endurance thing that they give him. But I would also be half Kalistar so that I could get resistance to psychic damage. Cool. Heck, I could be a barbarian druid and then I'd have mind link so I could communicate while I was in wild shape and also have immunity to psychic damage. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see. Shifter. Shifter was pretty terrible. I wonder if they did anything to improve Shifter. Probably not. Not really. Warforged was very strong. What have they done to balance that out? Nothing. Alright. You get everything, just fucking everything that a Warforged has right out the gate. And then Integrated Protection is a major. Okay. Okay, I get that. Then you got Century's Rest, Extra Language, Specialized Design. You're proficient in one skill of your choice. That's pretty nice. And you can choose this 2 different times. Wow. Alright. Because dragon marks typically replace sub-races, an alternate system can be used via the supplement. Okay. And this guy goes through and I guess decides that almost all of them cost 4 inheritance points, but one of them only cost, or a couple of them cost 2. Ravnica Ancestries. We're still dealing with medium centaurs. So that's a thing. What happened to my boys, the Loxodons? Okay. Inexplicable age span of 450 years is still there. All Loxodon must take trunk inheritance. But what if I'm a Loxodon and I was raised by Yuanti? And Yuanti don't have noses, so I never would have learned to use my nose. Just saying. How would I ever learn how to use my nose if I was not raised by other Loxodon? I mean, your arguments are falling apart here, buddy. Okay. Your natural armor. That's cool that you don't have to take the natural armor, though. Because, I mean, it's kind of bullshit. Keen smell, locks on serenity. Hype. Powerful build. Keen observer. Stoneworker. Alright, what do we got for Minotaur? Hammering Horns is a major, you called it. And Horns, as a natural weapon, is also a major. In fact, all Minotaurs have to take Horns. You have to. You have to. You have to. Because that, you know, like, God forbid you want to play a Minotaur that doesn't go around hitting shit with his head. Or yeah, you had your horns fucking shaved off when you were a kid, or maybe you got little tiny horns. Maybe you got little tiny horns. Like, man, this is okay. And then Simic Hybrid. Let's see what we got going on with Simic Hybrid. Major is your animal enhancement, and you choose one of these, and then at 5th level you come back for more. Okay. Grappling appendages. Carapace, acid spit. These are all majors, huh? Making it kind of hard. Making it kind of hard for these guys. Okay. And then we've got very strange. We got the Vidalcan, which are, you know, gross aberration adjacent creatures, blah blah blah. Tireless precision, dispassionate advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. It doesn't matter because as long as you're half Yuanti, you get magic resistance. So who cares? Wow. Okay, that was not as helpful as I had hoped it would be. It started off shaky, it got better, and then it just got steadily worse. I hear you, Siri. I know it's over. It's over, girl. Woof. Wow. So there's 3 more books in this series, and the other books cover how to remove ability scores, being descended from Abolus, playing a bullywug, which feels like it'd be kind of dope. Bullywugs apparently can be amphibious without having to worry about pouring a fucking bucket on their head. So that's the thing. I'm feeling a little frustrated here. Craw folk are apparently like crawdad people or crab people. They don't have to pour a bucket over their head either. They do have to pay full price to have a natural attack. And I guess they have claw restriction. Oh, yeah. Never mind. As a crawfolk, you must take both the Big S Claw Major Inheritance and the Claw Restriction Major Inheritance. Wow. But that doesn't count against the 2 inheritances that you would normally take. if the claw is that big, why does it only do 1d6 damage? And why doesn't the damage scale with your level? And why doesn't the DC to grapple people scale with your level? I have so many questions. Alright. Deep folk. Wow. There's several subraces of these. The Coalinth are water hobgoblins. Not the best picture I've ever seen of one. Maybe this is a kraken? I don't know. Woof. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is wild. Alright, we got Fey Ancestries, so that's useful for our campaign. We got Sylphborn, Sprigganborn, Selkie, Satyrs, Lulsafar, Leprechauns, Kitsune, Fey-touched Doulahan-born. Does your head pop off? Let me see if your head pops off. Doulahan is a new race designed by William Lawler. Okay. Cool. What happens? Does your head pop off? That's what I want to know. You have advantage of save throws against being charmed. Magic can put you to sleep. Druidcraft. Reaper's Knowledge. Deathly Heritage allows you to glean additional information. Time of Death. Last words. That's kind of cool. You're good on a horse. Alright. But nothing about your head popping off? Ah, lame. And then finally we've got Undead Ancestries, which could also be important. We have Wights, we have Mourned, Lamented, Husk, we've got Dampiers and Dampier Alternates. We've got Awakened Undead, such as Skeletons, Ghosts, Ghouls, Mummies, and Revenants. So there is some potential here. Let's see. In my opinion, I like, according to Major Snood, in my opinion, his humble opinion, I like the implementation of major minor traits. What's needed, just nix negative traits or provide incentives to take them. Yeah, here's the thing. Put negative traits on their own table and they give you more points that you can use to purchase other traits. Also, I think they should add a tiered system. I think there should be traits that cost 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. And the 1 point ones are going to be garbage. It's going to be like, I get a bonus language. I get a tool. I get a shitty skill. And then there should be the tier 2 stuff. And that's like, maybe damage resistance. Maybe, right? Something in that tier. But I'm thinking like, that's where tier 3 comes in. And tier 3 is the big shit. Like innate spellcasting, resistances, like real rule breaker shit. Like that's where that tier 3 would come in. And you still get 6 points to build with, but you have to decide when you're building with those 6 points what you want to do. We also would need to decide if we're allowing people to purchase a feat, how many feats are they allowed to purchase? Because if they're turning down the 3 ability score increase points to get a feat, do we really want them to be able to take another feat on top of that? That would be 2 feats at level 1. That's pretty bananas. Even if you started with essentially no racial abilities whatsoever, that would still be pretty nuts. You would be the most blank slate person in the entire world. So, it's a lot to think about. But I kind of like the idea of them being able to take a feat if they wanted to. Oh, man. I think we could go through, and better than what we had to offer from the Pathfinder book, we could probably take everything from the major and minors, put it into a document, break that document up into our 4 different things, right? Our beasts, our humans, our fae, and our constructs. So we'd break it down into 4 different categories. We go through one at a time. Where does Fey Ancestry go? Obviously, it goes in the Fey category. Where does Fey Magic go? It goes in the Fey category. And then we just keep going. Where does Dark Vision go? Dark Vision would be there for Beast, Fey, and maybe Constructs. And then you just kind of keep going through over and over and over again that system. I feel like, honestly, Dark Vision could be everywhere. Another thing to consider is I want I want improved dark vision. Just make improved dark vision cost 3 inheritance points. So instead of like saying, oh, well, you buy dark vision and then you have to buy improved dark vision as a minor, just have another category that costs 3 and you put your best shit in that category. You know? I mean, that seems pretty good to me. And then as far as like making the Cadenexes of the world happy that want to play a robot werewolf, you could say, sure, with your DM's approval, you could be a Beastkin construct, but you have to purchase you have to spend 3 points on one and 3 points on the other. Like, there you go. I think that'll crack open a lot of possibilities. So I want to be a human that's descended from, I don't know, a fish person, right? So I would be Beastkin human, and then I would take I would spend 3 inheritance points on Beastkin stuff to get like water breathing or some shit, and a swim speed. And then I'd go to the human track, and I'd spend the other 3 on human shit. I feel like that kind of covers it. You know what I mean? And if you wanted to, you could even let people just buy more stats. Like maybe in the +3 category, you just get to improve a stat. That's it. Like it costs 3 inheritance points, but you get to improve a stat. I like that quite a bit. So that is the direction that we're going to go. So next week, we're going to take these 4 books. We're going to divide them up into the 4 different categories that we have: Beastkin, Humanoids, Fae, and Construct. And we're going to essentially have it be a free-for-all. So anytime we see a redundancy, right? If we got Fae magic a couple of times, we might just condense it into one thing. Yeah, exactly. I want people to be able to make whatever fucking race they want, essentially. And pick out the abilities that are best for the kind of character that they want to make. Now, what I would like to do, that I don't think the system does, is as they level up, they will earn additional inheritance points. Oh. Instead of heritage feats, they'll just get more inheritance points, and they can go back to the inheritance table, and they could purchase more shit. I mean, how's that sound? Sounds pretty good to me. So that's kind of the direction I want to go. And what we could do then is people that don't take the people that don't get transformations and stuff like that, they might just get more inheritance points to spend. So that's the direction that I want to go with it. That's what I think we should do. All right, and that's what we'll do next week. All right, we got 38 days until Extra Life. Extra Life importance. I'm sure the bot has been spamming out about that shit, so just keep that in mind. Hope everybody has a good week. Tomorrow, Rime of the Frost Maiden. We're in the final area of that game. Skull and Shackles entering the final adventure arcs for that campaign. Friday, I don't think I'm going to be able to stream. Got a lot going on regarding buying a house and all that jazz. And then Sunday, we'll be doing some more Mythic Odyssey. So lots and lots and lots of stuff going on the server, but we're way over time for today, so we're going to stop it right here. All right. I will see you guys next. Oh, shit. Friday's Monster Hunter. No. What time does it start, Dom? Does it start at 8? Because I should be done by 8. Sorry. I just won't be able to stream. But I'll definitely be... Yeah, I'll be fine for that. I just won't be able to stream. Okay. All right. See you guys next time.